San Jose has the largest population of Vietnamese outside of Vietnam, about 10% of the population. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, many of the refugees fled here to San Jose, where there were plenty of tech manufacturing jobs. Nowadays, East San Jose has a thriving Little Saigon with a rich and diverse Vietnamese food culture. Today, we're going to hit 4 of the top-rated spots with authentic Vietnamese food you've probably never had before. We're going to start here today at the Grand Century Mall because it is the oldest Vietnamese mall and also the anchor of Little Saigon. There is a food court in here if you want it all in one place, but today we're going to hit the good stuff. And because these are Asian places of business, don't forget to bring the cash because a lot of them do not take credit cards. Just down the street from Grand Century Mall is Bún Bò Huế Annam. Bún Bò Huế is a regional specialty of the city of Huế in central Vietnam. Huế used to be the capital and the royal seat of Vietnam before it got moved to Hanoi in 1945. Bún Bò Huế, literally translated, is beef rice vermicelli soup of the city of Huế. And this restaurant back here, Bún Bò Huế Annam, is one of the most popular and most recommended places specializing in Bún Bò Huế by food bloggers and Vietnamese locals alike. Before we go in and check it out, let me apologize in advance for butchering any of these Vietnamese words. There's a line of people waiting outside, which is always a good sign. Mike will order the Bún Bò Huế since I don't eat a ton of beef, and I'll get the Bún Bò Com Chạy, which comes without the meat. This is the Bún Bò Com Chạy. The bun noodles are thicker and more cylindrical than pho, and the broth is made by stewing beef with lemongrass and then seasoned with fermented shrimp, sugar, and spicy chili oil. The fresh herb condiments you get here are quite unusual. You get a huge helping of purple banana blossoms and green cabbage cut into thin slivers, and the usual lime wedge and Thai basil. Dump all the aromatics into your soup, which will give it a freshness and balance the heaviness from the meat. I typically de-stem my basil as I only like to eat the leaves. Then squeeze some of the lime juice into the soup. The citrus adds a nice counterpoint to the sweet and sour. Here's Mike's bowl of Bún Bò Huế. It's got pieces of semi-raw onion, large portions of beef shank that's generously marbled, pieces of pork knuckle with a nice layer of fat on it. This is a special Vietnamese cold cut called cha huế, and cubes of pork's blood, which is slightly gelatinous and an acquired taste. And then the thicker bun noodles.
The broth is actually quite good. The noodles, really tasty, and it's just such an interesting combination of sort of meats, different types of textures. The blood is something you don't often get. The interesting thing is, unlike some of the other pho places that has like a raw flank steak that's put in there really thin, here they had thicker cuts of meat, and therefore when it cooks in the broth for a while, it can get a little tough. It's very tasty and it's well marbled, so you have to rip it apart, but it is certainly a little tougher meat.
Bún Bò Huế is probably the antithesis of pho. Whereas pho has a very light, clear broth to it, Bún Bò Huế tends to be a little on the heavier side. So it's definitely got that very deep, rich beef broth, and it's got the fresh and sour notes of the lemongrass combined with the sweetness from the rock sugar and the heavy spiciness from the chili oil. This dish probably isn't for everyone. My family personally prefers the lightness of pho, but I think this place rocks the bun. We gave it a solid 8 out of 10 stars. We marked it down a couple points only because the meat was a little tougher and chewier, and the broth was a little oily for our taste. If you prefer not to eat beef like me, then Tofu Gum Chai on Santa Clara Street in downtown San Jose has a great vegetarian bun hui chai option for you. This place is known for its gum chai or vegetarian rice place options, but it also serves vegetarian bun hui and pho as well. Asian vegetarian is actually quite popular, especially among the Buddhist set, and the pho meat products are made out of shaped soy or tofu. I'm ordering number 13, the Hui Spicy Noodle. Surface here is pretty fast. Here's my bowl of noodles along with the side of aromatics. There's some fake or faux ham in here, which is made out of tofu, some fake beef, and the fried tofu, and of course the bun noodles.
That's pretty spicy. I'm gonna try some of the ham here. It's got a good smoky flavor to it, not bad for a faux ham. I'm gonna try some of the beef now. Kind of chewy, tastes like a soy product. Let's try some of this broth now. It's actually quite light. It reminds me more of a pho broth with a bunch of spices in it. It's actually not bad for a pho broth. It's seasoned quite well. I will say that I like the noodles here better than at Annam. These have a chewier consistency to it and it tastes more like rice vermicelli.
Overall, I would give my bowl of noodles a solid 6, mainly because with the exception of the bun noodles, that was essentially pho. The broth was pretty flavorful, but it was on the lighter side as can be expected from a vegetarian place. If you are looking for vegetarian Vietnamese, this is a good option. Just down the street from Tofu Gum Chai is Vũng Tàu, and this restaurant is named after the coastal town of Vũng Tàu, which is just outside of Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, down in southern Vietnam. That is where the Huế family, who opened up this place, is originally from. Southern Vietnam is known for more richer, complex flavors, and there's a tendency to mix salty, sweet, and sour all together, and there's definitely a more liberal use of fruits in the cuisine. This is a little bit more formal than the other eateries that we've been to so far, and I think the prices are going to be a little bit more expensive accordingly. For my appetizer, I ordered this bánh đắp, and this is quite unique and you can't find this anywhere else. On the outside is bánh quan, a thin rice noodle sheet, and it's kind of hard to open, but the filling is a crispy sesame rice cracker right here, which gives it a bit of a crunch. It comes with nước mắm chấm, which is the traditional dipping sauce for almost everything. It's a mixture of fish sauce, chili paste, lime juice, sugar, with fresh bits of pickled carrots and daikon. To eat it, first you take one of these fresh romaine lettuce leaves, put a piece of the bánh đắp in there, and add some of the veggies and herbs on top. This time we've got bean sprouts, carrots, cucumbers, Thai basil, and Vietnamese coriander. Add the nước mắm chấm liberally, wrap like an egg roll, and eat. You can also dip it in the sauce before each bite.
That's very tasty. I like the contrast between the soft noodle sheet and the crispy cracker. The vegetables are very, very fresh and lighten up the density by quite a bit. I'd go a little heavier on the nước mắm chấm because otherwise it's a little bit bland. The name bánh đắp, literally translated, means cracking wheel, which is kind of apropos for the cracker inside.
My main dish is the cá truite go do. Cá truite is a sea bass and go do is a braised clay pot dish. The sauce is traditionally made with fish sauce and sugar that is sometimes balanced with coconut milk. It's then braised until nicely caramelized. The inside of the fish is gorgeous, still flaky and white.
So delicious. Immediately your tongue gets hit with that caramelization. It's that intense salt and sweet from the fish sauce and the sugars in the sauce. The sea bass is incredibly tender and juicy, and this delicate fish is perfect for such a strong sauce. The clay pot, which is used in many, many cultures, is a great way of braising fish because it allows you to cook the meat for a very, very long time while maintaining its tenderness and moisture.
The cá truite, or sea bass, was super flavorful, very intense, although at $23 it is a little on the pricey side, but in my opinion, very much worth it. 2 other recommendations we didn't get to try today. If you like sea bass but don't necessarily like fish sauce, try the gangnot cá truite, which is the sea bass in a tamarind soup. Also, the hieu tu nam vang is very popular, and this is a dry rice noodle dish with snow crab claws and ground pork in it. Let's go to our next location. We're gonna go all the way across town to the east side of East San Jose. Continuing on the theme of Central Vietnamese food, our next and final destination is Huế Cafe Restaurant across the street from Silver Creek Plaza. And this restaurant specializes in, you guessed it, Hui cuisine. Although it's got a full menu, the recommendation is to stick with the appetizers, as they have a variety of uniquely authentic dishes that are a must-try, especially if you want to expand your repertoire beyond the noodle soups and banh mi sandwiches. Most of the appetizers are bun, a whole class of cakes made from rice flour, a staple in Asia, which has a chewy texture to it. The consistency changes depending on how you cook it. The most popular methods are to boil it, steam it, and to fry it. There's a pretty extensive list of appetizers on their menu, but the recommended ones we're going to get today are number 1, banh bao, and number 3, banh ram it. Wow, these came out really fast. I suspect they probably have them pre-made in the back. This is the banh bao, and this is the banh ram it. This version of bun is named after bao or duckweed because its shape is very similar. And it's topped here with some shredded dry shrimp and a crispy pork crackling. To eat it, you add this sauce, which is a watered-down fish sauce with some jalapeno slices in it. Then you're going to scrape it off the sides. Usually, you don't cut it like I am. Just pop the entire thing in your mouth.
Ooh, that's a little bit spicy from the jalapeno. There's a tiny kick, but it's not too much. Mostly you get the sweetness from the fish sauce. The cake is actually fairly thin, so you don't get this cloying, overwhelming feeling of like glue glop in your mouth. Very good, very delicate. Mostly the predominant flavor is the dried shrimp in this. And then the crackling is really good. It provides this pop of bright flavor and crunch and texture to it.
Banh ram it are really interesting. The top of this here is called banh it. It's a sticky rice cake dumpling, and what they do is first boil the whole thing. And then this bottom portion here, which is called banh ram, is deep fried. Inside the dumpling is a filling of pork and shrimp. Then it's sprinkled on top with shredded dried shrimp and scallions.
Let's give it a try. I really love the combination of the soft and the crunchy textures together. It tastes so good. And the frying process has added in a little bit more fat and flavor to the dumpling. And each of these actually has a whole entire shrimp inside. It's kind of interesting that even though the ingredients are basically the same, you've got rice cakes that are boiled or steamed in some way and then topped with dried shrimp. Both kind of achieve very different taste profiles and textures to them.
That was really delicious, and what I love most about it is that they are so snackable that you can mix and match a whole bunch of different types and sample all the different varieties of appetizers here. Thanks for joining me today on my awesome Vietnamese food haul. And as always, if you've seen something that I featured here today that you love, please do share in the comments down below. And if there's something that I missed and that I absolutely have to feature in a future episode, let me know that as well. Have a great one, and until next time, peace out.